press record because I didn't do that last time. So here I am pressing record, and we are going to get going right away because we do have a full agenda, and I want to be respectful of the time that you guys have offered. So thank you so much for coming. We're getting pretty excited about the registrations that are coming in, and I will share really quickly. I just got off the phone with a student from Graham and Ann who came to the event last year, and he was adorable and wanted to know all the details and how he could get his students involved. And he has about 6 to 8 students from Graham and Ann that he thinks are going to sign up, which is lovely. So then he was talking about how hard it is to get advisors and transportation. I said, don't you worry about that. Let us worry about that. Anyways, it was so lovely and heartwarming to hear a student speak about the event last year and the impact it had on him. And now he is running a mental health support group at the school. So he took some of that information and he's working with the Canadian Mental Health Association in Charlotte County to actually promote a program in his school. So this is exactly the purpose and the reason we are all here. So I just think that was a win-win. So I am going to just pull up my agenda here. Just give me 1 minute. And I would like to start with just, first of all, welcome, but I just do a little roundabout who you are, your name, and kind of, let's actually, who you are, what organization, and what you're excited about for Easter. And if you don't celebrate Easter, what are you excited about for a long weekend? Ready? I'm going to put it on to Emily.
I had a feeling you were going to ask for me first.
Yeah.
My name is Emily Chevrier, and I am a school counselor at Oromocto High School. I am very excited about, I don't know, having some extra time with my kids at Easter. They love a good holiday. So anything theme related, like there will be decorations, there will be bunny ears, there will be Easter egg hunts. And also drinking my coffee out of something that's not a travel mug.
I love it. Awesome. Let's hand it over to Robin.
Good morning. I'm Robin Allaby, a retired administrator from Fredericton High School. And I'm retired, so I know all of you are thinking, yeah, right. And I used to think it was so obnoxious when retired teachers would come into the school and they would say, I'm so busy, I don't know how I found time to work, but I honestly get it now. But I'm really looking forward to our little Leo bug. Our grandson is 4 on April 2nd. And we just can't get enough of him. I knew I would love being a grandparent. I didn't know I would love it this much. So right now he thinks that Grammy and Grampy are absolutely rock stars. And I know that will change at some point in his little life. So we're just lapping up every possible minute we can. So we've got all kinds of fun things planned for him. His little brother's only 6 months and he's adorable too, but not able to participate yet.
Not as fun yet. No. Awesome. We'll hand it over to Ainsley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ainsley from the Gaia Project. I'm excited to just have some downtime to relax, and it's been pretty busy at work recently, and it'll be nice to just have a long weekend and spend time with family and some time outside and doing all the fun things. Hopefully the weather's nice.
It will be. I think it's going to be gorgeous. Awesome. Thanks, Ainsley. Good. Alyssa.
Good morning. I'm Alyssa from RBC, and we have we're probably the busiest we've ever been at work here right now, just with some projects on the go and exciting things happening. So Easter weekend is actually a super busy time for us for work. But I will have a little bit of time to spend with family and have a family supper and that sort of thing. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. Thank you. Handing over to Sabrina.
Hi, folks. I'm Sabrina DeYoung. I'm the Learning Specialist for Equity and Inclusion at the Department of Education, and I am heading away for a ski trip on the long weekend, heading to Quebec for a ski race and some time at a condo. So looking forward to that.
The whole family?
Yeah, and some friends. So should be nice.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Right in Quebec City?
Stoneham.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you. Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa DeLuca. I'm the learning specialist for welcoming newcomers and cultural relations at AECD, and I'm looking forward to spending Easter weekend in Halifax with my sister and my niece.
Fun. Halifax for a long weekend. If you need some restaurants to go to, I'm your girl. Let me know. I love it. Awesome. Over to Alec.
Hi, well, I'm Alec. I work for Partners for Youth. I'm a program coordinator or educator. I don't know. It depends on the weather for what I'm excited for. I think I'm going to go rock climbing or kayaking. So we'll see.
Wow. Kayaking like in the open water?
Yes, yeah. I usually I go in January. I have a special suit, but I didn't go this January, so I'm extra excited to bring my boat out.
Oh my soul. I hope everything is heated.
Oh no, but I have like one of those James Bond suits. He wears a tuxedo underneath,
Yep.
and it can get wet. Not the exact same, but same technology. I tell myself.
So you're telling us you're James Bond.
The worst version of it.
I love it. Thank you, Alec. And Alec is here representing Cindy, who unfortunately, well, no, fortunately, she is on vacation, so that's a good thing for her. So thank you for joining us. V.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I don't have my camera on. I'm just outside of my class right now. I'm lining up to get into class. So I'm Denise's intern, and this is my second time around working on the Youth Mental Health Symposium. So I'm really excited to see how it's going to come along this year. And for Easter, I'm excited to go to Halifax to take a little break away from studying. And then once I come back, it's going to be final exam season.
Awesome. And do you have your food itinerary already planned, V?
Already planned.
So V is probably more of a foodie than I am because no word of a lie, she doesn't worry about what she's doing. She worries about where she's going to eat. And it's like right down to like the drinks, to the appetizers, to the anyways. So probably V would be the best person to go to for suggestions. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. Really excited. I am going to get going right away because I know V has to get into class. Just a general update regarding the registration. We are just about at halfway. We're at 92 right now registered, and talking with the Graham and Ann, he was thinking that probably 8 to 10 students from there. So we're just past the 100 mark, which is lovely. The West is completely full. They're at 52. But that does not mean that the West should not keep registering. So I'm going to lean on you for that. We'll be taking probably some folks out on the waiting list because last year the North didn't fill their spots and different things like that. So what I'm telling people right now is no matter what, if you're interested, register, and we'll do our best to try to accommodate everybody depending on the numbers. It's pretty exciting because we're ahead of where we were last year. I always am stressing. There was a little bit of an issue with the East. Last year, the East was the very first district to fill their spots, and yesterday they had 0. So myself and Robin and V were trying to figure out what the situation was. And we're hopeful that some of the messages that we put out have worked. And right now I have seen that the registration actually started in the East. So that's probably a good sign. That's basically where we are with registration. And just so that you know, for the waiting list, everything is timed. So when a registration comes in, a time goes right beside the registration so that we know when that came in, the date, and that sort of thing, because that's how we take the students. We want to be equitable across the province, and certainly we want to accommodate everybody. It's just we don't have the facility to accommodate everybody in the funds. So anyways, very excited. I think it's going really well. Last year, we did have to open up the registration a little bit past the 2 weeks to get it filled. This year, I'm hopeful that we will not need to do that. The registration closes on the 29th. Any questions regarding that? Perfect. Another general update, I guess, is that I think we talked about, V's going to talk about the nutrition and the cost. The costs for everything obviously have gone up. So we're working our way around that and what we can do to decrease costs. But I'll let her talk about that in just a minute with the nutrition. I will probably give a little bit more of an update at the end, but V, I want to be respectful of you. So transportation information. Crystal is not here right now, and I'll just let you know that we have buses booked in the Woodstock area. And right now we have 20 students from Carlton North that have signed up, which is so lovely. So we'll probably start the transportation in that area. So Woodstock, Carlton North is, I think, 20 minutes from Woodstock. And we have a bus booked in Moncton, a bus booked in St. John, and a bus booked in, what did I miss? Miramichi. And folks from the north have already reached out because we have students that have signed up from Bathurst, and really excited to have those students because we didn't have anybody from Bathurst last year. So those folks would be coming down the night before and spending the night. The folks that are from Charlotte County, a lot of them, and some of the folks in the north, we have their residents booked at the St. Thomas University, and the students will stay there for the evening. We try and get them there around 6 o'clock. It works out great with the Graham and Ann Ferry. Last year, the students arrived, I think, about 6:30. The Stu residents coordinator meets them there, and we work out the keys and all of that good stuff. And we also have somebody from our team there to welcome them. And we order in pizza and food and snacks and make sure that they're settled. They all get their own room. Lisa asked me a very good question about gendered floors rooms, and I have to look into that, Lisa. So thank you for that question. And certainly we want to respect whatever makes anybody feel safe. So that's what we're going to go with. And I will turn it over to V.
Yeah, so like Deneen said, the nutrition piece this year is kind of expensive or super expensive. Last year, the total for it was about 7,000 after tax, and this year we went with the same food, the same drink, kind of everything is the same for nutrition break, lunch. The only thing we added was we added some chocolate milk and regular milk, and the prices this year is about 11,000 after tax. So that's about a 4,000 increase.
And I'll just speak to that really quickly. I'm meeting with the Dairy Farmers of Canada at 11:30, and we're hopeful that I tell them that they are charging us $2.25 per milk, which is, I think, ridiculous. Thank you. And we're going to see if there's a possibility of maybe getting a deal through them. If not, we have yogurt on the menu. We just want to make sure we have some dairy on the menu for sure, because they are sponsoring a piece of the nutrition break. And if they want us to still have milk, what we may do is just go out and buy jugs of milk and have glasses there, because spending that much money on I think is it a 250 or 500 ml V?
It's just 250.
250.
Can you believe that? Oh, anyways, I almost had a heart attack when I heard that. So we're going to go with plan B, which is go out and buy some jugs and have it there available for students. So, okay, keep going, V.
Yeah, and this year on the menu, because last year breakfast was only provided for students who stayed overnight and from the north, but this year we kind of gave it some thoughts, and we think that students will be traveling early in the morning, so they might not have time to eat breakfast. So we decided to order breakfast for all 250 students, and we went with yogurt dip and granolas, and for the North kids, I think we also ordered some muffins and milk, juice, and fruits to go with that. And then for lunch, on the menu right now, we have 5 types of wraps to kind of accommodate with all the dietary concerns.
Awesome. Yeah. So with the breakfast last year, when we set up the North's breakfast in one little room, the students were so hungry when they got off the bus that they were just going in there and grabbing as much as they could. And even though it was for the North, so we realized that the nutrition break really should be set up when they arrive. So when they arrive, everything will be there. It'll be set up, and they'll be able to have a snack, because I don't know what I was thinking, but when students get on a bus at 6 o'clock, 6:30, most people don't eat, let alone students, when they are getting up in the morning. So I think that'll be a great adjustment. Awesome. Thank you, V. I really appreciate that. Any update, V, on the swag or anything you want to talk about really quickly?
No updates on the swag at all, but if we have some time, like later, I can give a little preview of the registrations right now, like what it's looking like, the populations and stuff, because I do find something that's very interesting that you might want to know as well.
You go ahead, you can start right now.
Yeah, so we added this year we added a question in our registration form regarding if this is their first time around joining the Youth Mental Health Symposium or they came last year. And actually 85% of the students who registered this year are new. So they didn't come to the Youth Mental Health Symposium last year. So like we're kind of impacting a whole new population of student this year. So I find that to be super interesting. And then this year we also incorporate some questions around accessibility concerns. And last year we only include questions on mobility concerns. So we do get some requests regarding accessibility. So we're trying to be more inclusive this year as well.
Awesome. Thank you. That's lovely. I think that really speaks volumes. Of course, we want students to, take advantage and return to the symposium. But like V said, we are having a trickle effect and an impact. So I think that's lovely. Thank you. All right, moving on to the breakout sessions. Robin, you are on.
Absolutely. Last year we had 14 breakout sessions, and this year we have 14 breakout sessions. We're really excited. Last year we were, I won't say scrambling, but we were just really brainstorming and reaching out and trying to find people. And the beautiful thing this year is an awful lot of people were coming to us and saying, you know what, it was such a great event. I would love to, or I know somebody who would love to. And so that made our jobs much easier this year for sure. We have 2 repeats from last year, but the other 12 are all new, and the 2 repeats. We had great feedback from all of our presenters last year, don't get me wrong, but 2 kind of stood out, so we're excited about that. I'll just give you the name and the topic, so you have some general idea. So Jessie Brown is presenting how internal dialogue shapes your life, the importance of self-love. Megan Crosby, Thrive with Financial Wellness, which I think is really interesting. Andrew Culberson is giving one, Becoming, School Wellbeing Begins with You. And Lisa DeLuca and her team from Imagine NB, there will be a student forum on mental health from the perspective of newcomer youth. Britt Florjancic, from Partners for Youth, Youth in Action for Mental Health, Normalizing Our Journey. Jennifer Grant, The Power of No. Brett Hemmelman, who is an RBC Olympian, The Power of No. We're very excited to have an Olympian again. We did last year, of course, with Anna. But Brett is Team Canada canoe athlete, and his topic is navigating mental health. A little bit of navigating there with the metaphor. Brett is a canoe athlete and world champion medalist who was diagnosed with OCD and anxiety early in his life. So that is very exciting to have Brett. Tracy Landry and Nathaniel Fells, How to Be an Ally, Recognizing and Responding to Racism. Claire Layton, High Functioning with Mental Illness. Ainsley McMillan from the Gaia Project, Climate Mindset, Transforming Eco-Anxiety into Action. Ava Power from Scary Sundays, Your Anxiety is Not Your Enemy. Patty Quinn, The Medicine Wheel Presentation and Activity. Lauren Whiteway from CMH A&B, The Coping Toolbox. And Heather Whitaker and Rob Mather, Mindset Matters. So yeah, wonderful topics and a lot of variety. And we were kind of mindful this year, we were last year as well, but it didn't, of having some gender where we had some balance with instead of all female presenters. It just sort of worked out last year that there were a lot more females that were kind of stepping forward. So we are delighted to have some men join us, more men this year, and certainly delighted to have our RBC male Olympian. I think that will be exciting for youth as well, even if they don't go to a session, to meet him maybe during lunch or break time or whatever. So very excited about that.
Awesome. Thank you, Robin. And Ainsley, can you
We
tell
actually
us?
have a second Olympian joining too, so he won't be doing the presentation, but he'll be with us. So
Oh,
he'll be at the booth with us as well. So he's a hopeful Olympian. Both of them are future Olympians, hopefully, but both really recognized. So he won't be doing the presentation. He'll sit in on that presentation, but he'll be at the booth and looking to meet with youth and everything.
Awesome. And is he a canoe kayaker as well?
Yes, I believe they both are. Yeah.
And they're both from Dartmouth, correct? Or Halifax?
Yeah,
Yeah.
both from there. So
Neat.
I hear great things about them both. So I haven't met them yet. So I'm really looking forward to that too.
Excellent. Just before I forget, Alyssa, we should make sure that we have name tags for them because they'll be roaming around and doing their thing. So I think both of them are going to help with the welcome, and I'll go through the agenda here in just a minute. But it would be lovely to have name tags for them. Well, name tags for all of our presenters for sure. And just Ainsley, is it eco anxiety or eco anxiety? Just because I don't know.
Yeah, just eco anxiety is
Eco
at least what we
anxiety. Okay.
say.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Robin. Yeah.
Deneen, can I just interject something here very quickly? Because it just really resonated with me yesterday. I have been helping a former student of mine. I mean, she's in her 40s, so that was how long ago I taught her in middle school. But she lives in Fredericton here, and she manages a huge business that's in a very male-dominated world. And she had gone out to Winnipeg in November and for national meetings, and tragically her mom died very unexpectedly, and so she literally was, on her knees and navigating that flight back. And I've been helping her the last 4 months deal with all the things that she had to deal with. She has a dog. She doesn't have a partner or anything, so she's very much alone, and it's been really, really challenging for her. So I bring that up because yesterday or 2 days ago, she had to fly back to Winnipeg, and it was the first time. And she was stressed to the max about the flight. She was stressed to the max about seeing all these people, mostly men, who had literally seen her on her knees. She has Addison's, which is a whole other layer of her mental health. And so she's texting me from the Toronto airport saying, Robin, I keep repeating, all will be well. I'm doing all the breathing exercises you've taught me. She goes, this shit actually works. And, like the self-talk and everything, I'm getting it all the way across Canada. And yesterday, the team were at the stadium for the Blue Bombers and all, the tour. She's giving me all these pictures. And she said, pardon my language because I'm quoting, she goes, holy shit, Robin, the guest speaker has written a book about courage, and it's about facing your fear, and that we all have fear, but it's our resilience and our ability to recognize our fear and understand that we have the ability to deal with it or roll with it. She goes, it's like you and all the people you put in my life, Deneen, you will know, like Wynn and Lee and different people I've set her up with. She goes, you're all in my head now. But she goes, why wasn't I taught this when I was a kid? And that's the point of my story. I just thought, okay, this is making such a huge impact, and how far she's come in 4 months. And I mean, she's got the layer of grief, but she also has all this other stuff. And it's so impactful for her. And I said, honestly, Linz, in another 4 or 6 months, you're not going to believe how much further you've come. So she's really interested in this conference, and she keeps talking. She may be a future guest speaker down the road if we have a third or a fourth. But I just thought, okay, and she's very successful in her field, but she doesn't feel like she is. She feels like she's, she has two siblings that are engineers, and she just feels like they're the smart ones, and she isn't. And all the negative self-talk, which I've been working so hard to turn around, and how it impacts everything in her life. So I just thought, this is really important work that Deneen and her team and all of you are doing. So anyway, I just share that because we're making a difference.
No, thank you for sharing. And you wonder why I wanted Robin on my team. Sabrina, go ahead.
Hi there. Sounds like an amazing lineup. I guess I'm wondering a little bit about 2S LGBT focused content, given the current state and the need for hopefulness and positive mental health. Yeah, I just wonder
I
if
agree with
there's
you, Sabrina. We put the
anything.
we put the request out, and I haven't had any connection with anybody, so I don't
Okay,
know.
because the presenter from last year did not hear back. I know we were speaking with Pride in Education. They had not heard anything, and I had asked. I just was curious if they were doing a repeat session, but I certainly could look to get, there are lots of mental health providers as well that do some really great work on hopefulness
Did you
around.
give me that? Did you give me that contact this year as the?
To be honest, I probably thought that it was said at one of the first meetings that you were going to reach out to the people who presented last year. So yeah, apologies on that. But
no, that's not a big deal.
I do think given the climate and given what these youth are facing, yeah, I think there will be a need for a space that feels safe for them to allies and youth to come together.
Do you think if we reached out, they would be willing? Because we can certainly add them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they did. I'm not sure what the response was in terms of feedback or if the presenters received that, but they did something on like queer joy or something. It was, I think, maybe art related. And yeah, so that would be really great if we could include at least one session, because I know from what I'm hearing from Pride and Education that our youth are craving that, and they won't necessarily feel safe in any other space right now. So
thank you, Sabrina. I honestly, that's when I put the request out to the steering committee again, and maybe that got missed, but certainly, Robin, can we reach out ASAP? And
it's Laura Noble,
yes,
and she was
a
resource teacher from Leo Hayes. Yeah.
And maybe what I'll do is call her personally today. Can you just look up
yeah, and I think it'll be fine. I didn't say, oh, that's too bad, you won't hear from them. Like, I just said, oh, that's interesting. And I thought I knew this meeting was coming, so I thought I'd check in with you folks on that one.
No, perfect, Sabrina. Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. But it sounds great, and lots of names I know well, and it's going to be just a fantastic lineup. So.
Well, and a lot of names you gave us, so thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
The medicine wheel, like, I'm really excited about having some different options that we didn't have last year. So I think that will be great. Thank you. Alec.
That's a great point, Sabrina. PFY and our presenter, Brittany Floriancic, definitely is going to take an approach that looks at things through a queer lens, at least to a small extent. It's not usually the focus, but I know that that's a huge part of her general purview. If we don't have anybody to make that sort of space, in particular, communicate that to us if you'd like, and it's something that we can at least make space for, and at the very least make sure that space is safe for those kind of people, and then it's obviously an allied space, etc.
Yeah. And I will say that Jack.org last year, that was the bulk of their keynote, and we don't have that keynote presentation right now, but certainly hopeful that's part of, because I did ask for a similar presentation like they did last year, and I think the students really loved what was represented last year. So sorry, Sabrina, you had your hand up.
That was an accident, sorry, but that sounds great, and thanks, Alec. That sounds fantastic. I just know if it's not kind of explicitly stated right now, people are a little tentative. So thanks so much.
Yes, absolutely. Alec?
Sorry, of course, I tend to talk a bit. I just wanted to inquire as well about the New Brunswick Youth Council. Cindy was talking to me about potentially having 5 minutes, 2 minutes at any point through the day. I don't know if that's something that you wanted to approach later.
I have it right in our agenda that I'm going to review. Yep.
Lovely. I'll keep quiet for now.
No, that's okay. Listen, you're just like me. We all love to talk. That's good. All right. We're going to keep going. Robin, the next thing is the booths.
Okay. Where is the booths are confirmed. We have 8 of them. Sorry, I had it right here. Oh, here we go. So we have the Capital Youth Hub. We have GMB, the LINK program. We have the Center of Excellence. We have NBCC. We have New Brunswick Social Work. We have CMH, ANB, and they have a larger section because they have the Bounce Back program, the Community Peer Support program, and the Community Program Coordinator. So that's all kind of under that one umbrella. And Imagine NB and RBC. So we've got a great lineup there, I think, for our booths. Students were really interested in those last year, and staff. I know that a lot of the staff, when I noticed, because I wasn't in the specific sessions other than the keynotes, and I noticed a lot of the chaperones would take time when the kids were in sessions to go around and were gathering information and things to take back to their schools to share with staff and with students. So it's really valuable to them as well.
All right, Lisa.
Just double checking if Jessica got back to you to confirm her booth with Imagine NB. If not, I will check in with her.
Yeah, I think she did. I'm sorry, Lisa. I sent that email after the introduction yesterday, and I'm pretty sure she did. I'm sorry, I just get so many darn emails, and they were coming fast and furious yesterday.
If you realize she didn't, maybe just pop me an email and I'll check in with her.
I'll go back and check right after this meeting.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. Okay, we've had another, and I just wanted to, I've heard very little. I don't know if you guys know Melanie Cormier. She reached out this morning and was talking about Planet Youth New Brunswick. And has anybody ran into Planet Youth New Brunswick? I asked them to kind of give me a little bit of a rundown of what they do. Sabrina, I knew you would have some information for me.
Yeah, so well, Lisa and I, oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. And I and Mark Nicholson here at the department have been working on Capacity for Courage project, and through that we're connecting folks with Human Development Council St. John, and they're working on this Planet Youth project. It's the Icelandic model for addressing addictions in youth, and it's a really cool kind of pilot project they're doing here in New Brunswick. I'm not sure if there's I think there is a Planet Youth lead. Is that who you've been connecting with, Deneen, or do you know?
I'm just looking to see. It's Melanie Cormier. She says that she is. She's the provincial lead. Yep.
So if there's anything specific you need, I can certainly get in touch with them.
They were asking for a booth, which I thought would be lovely. But then I said, unfortunately, we don't have enough room as long as everybody has already, because we only have 8 spaces. But what I did say is that if they had information that we wanted to share in our swag bags and bring information and we can share it that way, I just wanted to ask if anybody knew more. So obviously this is a good thing.
I'll put it in the chat. It's something really awesome that people should know about. So basically there's been a survey of grade 10 learners in New Brunswick in different communities currently as part of the pilot for this. It's really to look at that Icelandic model for addiction prevention in youth. And there's been some really interesting results. So maybe they would have, I'm not sure entirely what would be the best information they could provide in their packet, but I'll reach out to our contact at HDC and see what they think might be helpful. But
that would be great. Thank you so much. Awesome. So the booths look great. We're well on our way, and Robin's working with V and with the WU Center to space them out accordingly, because like Robin said, last year it was so lovely, and I think that was probably, and Alyssa, you can probably speak to this more than I can, but the interaction with the students was not like other events. The students were really excited about visiting the booths and being there and having the opportunity to talk to the folks that were at the booths. But what was so lovely is at the booths, they all had beautiful takeaways as well, like the mental health stickers and just really even the New Brunswick Social Work Association, they had some really neat swag that just made folks think about their own mental health, but moving forward, what does that look like into a career? So I think that's lovely. Alyssa, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, there was great interaction, and the students were also excited when they came around to the booths and that sort of thing, just to see people and meet people. And like I remember two youth in particular that were dressed up, like they had suits on almost, I think these two, and they were like wanted to shake hands and introduce themselves. It was like they were working on their brand or something or practicing for careers, but they were amazing. But we had lots of interaction, lots of kids looking for information like from us on like budgeting and that sort of thing. And so it was awesome.
So, okay. Thank you. All right. So just a quick update on funding so that you folks are aware. We are not where we were last year, which is unfortunate. We're still waiting on possible funding from Horizon, Department of Health, and Department of Social Development. With that said, clearly we're going ahead with the event, and just additional funds are going to have to take from EECD, which is fine because I'm going to pull and grab from different budgets, hopefully. Certainly we would, welcome any other supports that we can have at this point. Some folks are waiting until fiscal is over, which is April 1st, to do their donation, which hopefully will come through at that time. And then the other piece is the agenda. So I'm just going to share my screen. Can you guys see that? Okay, so very similar to last year, full day schedule, 9 a.m., registration for the Graham and Dalhousie students at ASD North. So what we do is we have the students come over from the St. Thomas University a bit early so that they can have their breakfast, and then they register early and they have some downtime there. That kind of gets that bulk of students through the registration process quite quickly. 9:30 is when the general registration and swag bags are going to be given out. Last year, in our plan was to have 4 tables for each district. For some reason, that did not get coordinated properly, and we only had 2 tables, and there was a lineup outside the door when the buses arrived. That will not be happening this year. We'll make sure that we have those 4 tables set up, and the nutrition break will be set up right there. So 10 o'clock start, and that's the RBC COE Health Welcome, and that's right in the auditorium. The FHS tech crew and Greg Weber are hopeful, they haven't confirmed yet, that they are going to join us on May 15th so that we can live stream the welcome and the keynote, because we're going to have overflow into another room because of the bylaws for how many people can be in the auditorium. Last year we had very little overflow, but I do like to have that as an option because that many people in a space can be very overwhelming, and we want everyone to feel welcome in their own comfort level. So having another space where it's a lot less people, I think we had like 10 people in there when the keynote was happening, but I remember checking on them and they were very happy and everything was good. But that's it gave them a little bit more of space, so they didn't feel so enclosed. So that will be happening. Our other hope is that it'll be live streamed provincially for the keynote, so that folks that are not able to come are able to actually watch the keynote. So last year, that was our plan. It did not happen. The streaming did not work. This year, it's going to work. So hopeful that happens. We're going to have a land acknowledgement. Chief Ron Tremblay is going to join us again. He did such a beautiful, I don't know if you were there, but such a beautiful welcoming last year, and he is ecstatic to be part of the event again this year. Then we're going to have the agenda. The Partners for Youth are going to speak with me just about 5 minutes on what they do, and if students want to get more involved in what they're doing, they'll have an opportunity to reach out to them during the day. And then we're going to do a warm up. And because, sorry, I skipped the Minister of Education, Honorable Bill Hogan will speak from 10:15 to 10:30. And I may have to be a little bit mindful of time this year and I'm going to tell him I have a sign of when his time's up because we're so strict on time. I have a relationship with him now. Last year I did not have a relationship with him, so I didn't feel like I could do that, but I do think that I have the strength, I'm going to say, to just give him a little nudge if he goes over, because it did really rush things last year. Great things to be said. I just want to be mindful of the time. So the agenda, like I said, Partners for Youth, and then we're going to do a warm up with the RBC Olympians. I should put Olympians. Hey, Alyssa. I'm assuming they both want to be involved.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. It would be good. Yep.
Okay. And we're going to talk about that at our next meeting with the RBC team.
Okay.
Okay. Keynote speaker, Robin's going to introduce them, and we are going to have 15 minutes allocated for pre and post surveys. We're doing that on paper again this year. Last year, we did a pilot with them for a paper survey. What was so lovely about last year's event is that the students didn't have their phones out for almost the entire day, which is unheard of for teenagers. So when we do bring phones out, it's lovely. But again, some students may not have phones. And two, it does kind of take away from them being present in the moment. So paper and pencils is the way we're going to go, which is lovely. And then we are going to be doing lunch with door prizes from 12 to 12:45. We are going to have some options for folks. I didn't know if the options were going to go well last year, and they went really well. There was a lot of students in each of the options. And what we love about this is that it was a beautiful day, one, but two, again, in that eating area where people get their food, it's very congested. And there's times where I even feel very congested myself. So we want to make sure students have a place to just get away and be. And on that end, we will have a room set up again this year with puzzles and coloring and different things that if folks just need to take a break, they can go take a break and be in that room. Alyssa.
Just a quick question. Last year we had like a 2-minute RBC welcome and a 2-minute RBC thank you. Will we have time for that this year?
Yep. So right in the very first, the 10 to 10:10, the RBC COE.
Oh, sorry.
welcome.
I'm looking
Nope.
on my phone and it's like super tiny. So
That's okay.
sorry.
That's all
Thank
right.
you for
No
that.
worries. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yep, the welcome will be there and then at the end as well.
Yeah. Oh, thanks so much. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. So breakout session, we're adding 15 minutes to each breakout session this year because last year the feedback we got from presenters, obviously 30 minutes wasn't long enough. This is what the students wanted. They wanted it kind of quick and short. So we tried to go with that. But again, by the time the students get settled, introductions, those types of things. So we're just giving 45 minutes. Transition, which is so important because it takes some students to move along. Second student breakout session, and then transition back to the auditorium. And then we will do a thank you and loading buses and frozen yogurt bars, which were a big hit last year. So there's the agenda. Any questions, thoughts, anything we can improve? Alyssa.
Sorry, old hand.
I love it. Any other?
Deneen, sorry, I don't know that we have talked in our Tuesday meetings about yoga yet, but I've just been preparing a chair yoga class for a group that I'm teaching. And when I was doing that the other day, because I hadn't done one in a long time, so I was going back to review, I just thought this would be perfect because then kids don't need mats, they don't need to get on the floor or anything like that. But there's a lot of that you can do to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and decompress in a 15 or 20 minute chair session. So we can
you
talk
just
more about that.
volunteered yourself. Thank you, Robin. You are so awesome. I think that would be great. My hope would be to do an outside activity with kiddos as well.
Yes.
I know that we need some of us inside, but the other piece of me is one of the biggest themes that came out of our focus group is that students said that they wanted to just be. They didn't want everything scheduled. So as much as we want to provide opportunities, we want to provide some downtime too. So I would love to do a mindfulness walk with folks, but I haven't decided that yet. Alec.
This is just a comment. I used to teach, so I used to obviously spend a lot of time in schools, and we always know that adults love networking. But when students have a chance to mingle between schools, you're absolutely right. That's one of their favorite things. Every time they get to mingle, they get to network. So I really think that's a great point. Same thing for the chair yoga. So many times have I seen very antsy humans sit down all day and just a little stretch, a little wiggle. Oh my God, does it make a difference? And it makes a huge difference for their attention span later on in the day.
Awesome.
Yeah. You're right, Alex. The only time I saw kids with their phones out last year was during lunch when they would say, "Can I put you in my phone?" And so kids were networking and making friends, which was really exciting, right? Because often, we're isolated, and especially some of the smaller communities.
Yeah.
If you live in St. John, Moncton, Fredericton, you have sort of bigger opportunities, Miramichi, to connect. But if you're from Graham and Ann, or if you're from Chipman, or if you're from Carlton North, it's a little bit more challenging. So good point.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what the student from Graham and Ann was saying, is that he made some really good friends at the event last year. So I think that's just as important as anything we're going to offer, is that opportunity to network and make some hopefully lifelong friends, which is so lovely. Okay, so that is it for the agenda. And then just to, I guess, tell you what next steps are. The next steps are probably my least favorite part of this organization, and that is the transportation and the busing and how to get all of these students here. And as much as I get so excited when I see the small communities up north and signing up, it stresses me out a little bit about transportation, but we're going to get there. Like I said, we have some solid start points, which we didn't do last year. We just started from scratch, but we are going to request students to get to these areas if they can, if they're from that area. Obviously, if there is a student that cannot get a transportation to a bus in Moncton, we will do everything in our power to make sure they are able to get to the conference through a different venue or a different way. But certainly that's probably going to be the biggest bulk of the work coming up. Registration closes on the 29th. I will give everybody here an update on the 29th of where we are with numbers and if we are opening it up for additional time. That's what we did last year. I'm hopeful that we will not need to do that. I will send this recording to you folks as well, for the folks that you want to send along to that missed the meeting. But we are, like I said, we're well on our way. Everything's pretty much organized on our end. I am going to reach out. I already reached out to Laura Noble and see if we can have a phone call today, because I think that would be lovely to have her. And that's my fault for missing that. I thought for some reason it was already done, but it wasn't. So that's me.
No, sorry about that, Deneen. I have not been at the last few meetings, and yeah, anyway, I missed that too. So
no.
yeah.
Anyways, I think
thanks.
Laura's lovely and I would love to have her. So if we can add that to the list, we'll get that on the list right away. And that would be an easy addition to the registration pretty quick. We could do that this morning if it's possible. And to be honest, don't tell the kids this, but when they register and they're in their sessions, if someone came to me and said, "I really want to go to this session instead of that session," I'm not going to be like, "No, I'm the registration police. You are not going." We are going to invite those folks that can go to the sessions. It's really just depending on space. And sometimes we have to be mindful of the space because of the WU Center. And the WU Center reminds me constantly about the numbers that we're allowed to have there and the numbers we are not allowed to have there. So as much as I would love, I probably have at least so far, I would say 30 to 40 teachers that are reaching out to say, "Can we attend?" And it's unfortunate that I have to say no, because unless they are a chaperone, I can't have all of those bodies in the location. But it does speak volumes, Sabrina. That's something that maybe we should bring up tomorrow at our meeting with all of our ESS about, the conference that you folks did. I think it was in November, and the feedback from that was absolutely amazing. And maybe we try and look at something additional in the spring for teachers, if that's possible. With all
You're
of the
referring
business.
to Hope Restored, is that right? The trauma conference? Yeah. Fantastic.
Okay, so I think that's it. Our next meeting is slotted for April 11th at 11 o'clock. I'll send that invite out as soon as we're done. I try not to send out the invites until we're done this meeting because people get confused. Is this meeting canceled? Is it not? But I'll send that out right away. I also will send out the agenda. And please, if you look at that agenda and you think we can do something better, I am very open. You guys are the committee. I want to know if there's any feedback, if you think we should do X instead of this. I certainly would love to hear your feedback. Alyssa.
Oops, dropped my phone. Robin and Denise, could you just stay on just for a moment? I'm just trying to get you a little money and I have a question. So
Yeah, absolutely. I will always stay for money. Don't have to ask me twice. Does anybody have any comments, questions, concerns, outbreaks? No, we're good. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you being here. Everybody here is having such an impact with this event, and we couldn't do it without you. So certainly feel free to reach out to me if you have additional comments and want to just have a one-on-one. I'm open to that. Alec, you are a gem. I think you are fabulous. And now you may be my new favorite person. We would love to have you. Even if Cindy's able to come to the next meeting and you want to join in, you are more than welcome. We love the energy and we love people that have comments and questions and want to, share their experience and share their expertise. So love to have you. Everybody else, have a beautiful day and enjoy the rain this weekend. Sabrina, I'm so sorry for saying that, but
We'll see who's sorry on Monday.
And I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a nice rest of the day.
You too.